Good afternoon and welcome to NYCryptoTalk. Today's discussion is on an item that I've been looking forward to reviewing for quite a while. I have been a investor in this project since back in November after the ICO had launched and released into the market. The project is Electroneum. So most of you guys probably know about Electroneum. Electroneum is probably one of the largest community-based tokens out there, with some of the biggest Telegram groups, Reddit groups, Twitter groups, followers. So what is Electroneum? Electroneum is looking to be the mobile cryptocurrency, the most simple, easy, straightforward cryptocurrency on the market. They are also the first mobile mining currency on the market as well. They are just trying to make a simplified version of cryptocurrency, moving away from the Bitcoin out there, the Ethereum out there, and just making something easy and adoptable by most anyone. They basically want to be able to have your parents, your grandparents, once people have phones, anybody who has a phone can pretty much utilize this platform and pretty much easily send and receive payments without any knowledge of cryptocurrency. So I will briefly go over a couple of highlights, a couple of things in their white paper. It is a very simplified project. I'm not going to go too much into detail because they literally want it to be very easy for people to understand. There is a technical white paper. Electroneum is based off of the Monero code base. So it is actually, if you would consider it, a privacy coin because it does have the functionality behind Monero as well. They don't market it as it, but they did decide to go off the Monero code base, which is the, if you're mining it, it is the Kryptonite algorithm, which is a CPU based algorithm, which is kind of why they wanted to go that way, because of the mobile market being able to utilize CPUs as opposed to high-end GPUs, ASIC miners for Bitcoin and so forth. So Electroneum is a 21 billion total supply on the coin market cap. Obviously it has a very low volume, but they have 2 decimal places when it comes to the actual token because they wanted to make it easy for people, since most people nowadays understand 2 digits, dollars. Fiat currency has 2 decimal places after the full amount, so it just makes it easier when you come down to making a payment that something will be at 12 Electroneum or 12.1250. It just makes it easier to understand. So that's their main logic on why they went that way and that route. So looking at their website, they have a little synopsis of their ICO. Last year, they were one of the most successful ICO. It did close very early because it hit the $40 million hard cap very quickly. There was 120,000 contributors. The ICO, I believe, was 1 cent. Which is crazy. I wasn't aware of it at the time. It was a little bit before my day. But they have signed agreements giving access to over 100 million users. Right now, I believe they have over 10 million Electroneum users. Over 750 million of the Electroneum traded in the first 40 days. The market cap is not at 800 million anymore. I will go about there. I believe it's under 200 million right now. The mobile miner is not in beta. It is actually out there for the Android OS. It is still not released yet for the Apple OS, iOS. So it is out there though. But basically what they're trying to do is go to the road of mass adoption. They want to be able to have most people have Electroneum as a base for cryptocurrency because of the ease of use. They aim to get tens or hundreds of millions of users in their long-term agreement. And basically what their goal is to start working with mobile carriers. And I do feel that this is a strategic move that is very, very lucrative for what they have. They are the first cryptocurrency to secure a membership on the GSMA. And basically that is just an alliance of GSM companies out there that provide telecommunication initiatives. These are major cell phone companies, and what they want to be able to do is offer their application, their services, their payments to these different companies. Before I even get into the actual adoption and the white paper and what they have, so where I think Electroneum kind of stands out for me, and where I think this kind of vision that they have as far as the functionality and where the best use case is for Electroneum. If you think about it like this, a telecommunications manufacturer, I'm in the United States, so there's T-Mobile, there's Sprint, there's Verizon, and then you have all the pay-as-you-go companies out as well. If they had a subsidized program where basically they provide free phones, which nowadays is not something that generally happens for normal contracted plans, you pay a subsidized price and then you pay monthly for the remainder of the contract for higher end devices, that is. If they were to make an agreement with Electroneum that, okay, we will offer subsidized phones for users if we pre-install Electroneum application and the users have this miner running on their phone, the users obviously should be aware of this. What they can do is basically give away the phone for free, because they will be earning coins, Electroneum, directly through the phone, and that either they can pay up front for the phone, and then all the money that they mine can then go back to the contract, to the phone company, the provider, and that could be used to pay their monthly bill. So if you think about it, it's a win-win situation for telecommunication companies to be able to have this kind of functionality. Of course, there are legality concerns when it comes to having this type of information on your phones, but it's a win-win situation when you think that they can provide a phone, the user can then be a little bit more comfortable that their bill's not going to be as expensive, or it won't be existent at all. They might even make money off it, because all those extra money that they're earning off mining in the background, which uses very little data, which I've been told on their white paper that it uses very little data. They could be mining 24/7 as long as it doesn't impact battery life. They can be earning money, similar to how a solar grid works. And if you have solar panels, you basically use the energy that you have, and then any extra energy that you have, you can sell back to the provider and get money. So the same thing could work for Electroneum. So that's where, personally, I think that kind of mantra, that kind of idealistic, futuristic mindset would work for Electroneum. If they were able to get that kind of contract, they would work with the telecommunication companies, have it pre-installed, tell the users they're either free or they pay up front, and then it'll pay off itself within 2 months. That's something that people would definitely be interested in. I personally would be interested in that. I have extra phones. I might start playing around with the miner. I have tried mining before with Electroneum. Generally, Crypto Night is actually one of the most profitable payouts when it comes to CPU mining. So definitely, look into that. Right now, they have already signed contracts to develop Electroneum payment integration for over 1.2 million agents, dealers, and distributors in over 9 countries. They have contracts right now with, they partnered with a company called Zeus, which is a telecommunication payment giant. They hope to use it. They, I believe, have hundreds of millions of customers. B Media, which is a e-commerce company that has 500,000 Facebook followers and a monthly reach of 10 million users that might play into the key role of marketing plan. So they have a lot of ideas going down. Here's the registered users, how many Telegram members they have. Here's their roadmap. Obviously, the ICO was in September. It closed early. November 1, they had an audit. HackerOne did an audit on them because they had some DDoS attacks, I believe, but they proved that it was secure. And then they had a wallet on December 13th. And then their Q1 goals, which they've already hit: 1 million live users, secure a user reach of 100 million, list on major exchanges, which I will talk about. This is perfect timing for the video because they just got listed on KuCoin, one of the biggest exchanges out there, at least one of the newest and biggest exchanges. They want to grow their team and launch their mobile miner, which they did, at least for Android. This is, okay, not 100 million users, 65 million users through the contract with Zeus. The beta testers, the first cryptocurrency on the GSMA, as I mentioned, they were at Mobile World Congress. I will show some pictures of that. I think that's awesome that they were there. So they met with all the major manufacturers at Mobile World Congress, as well as the providers out there. So that is a huge thing for people like Electroneum. Obviously, it's not crypto based, but that's exactly where they needed to be for the phone industry. Mobile miner launched 2 weeks ago, as I mentioned. They were listed on KuCoin, and then they have a lot more things that they plan on kicking off. As I mentioned, Electroneum has a very big user base, 115,000 followers. Right now they are listed on KuCoin. They're running a competition. If you guys are not familiar, KuCoin and Binance always throw these crazy competitions. What this basically means is the top 100 people who have traded Electroneum on it within a certain time frame that ends on the 29th will win a share of the 1 million Electroneum. So that's right now about $4 million because it's trading about 4 cents, give or take. 3 cents, so maybe 3 million. By the end of this, though, I have an expectation that that is going to be a lot more money. KuCoin, Electroneum will definitely go up because these kind of competitions make whales go crazy. They buy stuff because they want to be at the top of the list when it comes to trading volume. Just FYI. It's not a price prediction, but Electroneum, you can get it at the App Store for Google Play App Store. So definitely check that out. Here's a snippet from their Twitter page. They had a great interview at Mobile World Conference in Barcelona. You can check this out, this YouTube video. It was a good interview with the CEO. Then they just talked about their milestone of 1 million Electroneum users. Right now, I'll refresh this because I was hovering over 3 cents when I checked it last. So it has gone down a little bit. It did release out of the gate at around 10 cents after the ICO happened. Then it dipped down to about 2 cents, give or take, and change. It did go up to about 20 cents at its peak during the highlight of our, crypto sphere, the 800 million mark. So it went up to about 20 cents, and it's been doing okay during this time. I think the KuCoin listing will definitely help with the volume. As you can see here, KuCoin now is already #1 when it comes to trading volume. Before then, it was just Cryptopia. Electroneum signs with Zeus, as I mentioned. And as I also had briefly talked about, Electroneum had decided to go through the Monero code base. They talk about why they do this. and why they wanted to go through the Monero code base, basically, and also with the decimal places that they wanted to utilize. If you want to learn more about CryptoNight algorithm, you can definitely check out more information. I can put a link below. It talks about the proof of work and how it can be suitable for ordinary PC CPUs. That's why they utilized it, and that's why they're trying to utilize that on the mobile platform. So here's some snippets that I took, some bookmarks of the Electroneum white pages. As I said, it is very straightforward. Some of their main goals is common adoption, doesn't need to be tech savvy. Electroneum wallet can be easily managed on a smartphone, and they can be generated by the unique mobile miner running as a background activity. It enables a very fast microtransaction because of the currency. The actual code base that they use, it is very fast. I will confirm that when transferring funds, it is extremely fast. And it has a single-minded development team behind it with the clear goal to break into and dominate the mobile market. So it is definitely aimed at the mobile market. So all right, not much here in the summary. This just talks about having no knowledge. People can easily install the information. Takes up very little bandwidth, so it doesn't cost much to run on a 3G or 4G data. The 2 decimal places, as I mentioned, and then here it talks about how they deliberately avoided using a blockchain that can be mined with the super powerful ASICs, Bitcoin, and created a blockchain that can be mined with CPUs, which enables the average person to get involved. There is a technical white paper you can open up. I won't go too much into that because it is very technical, and I can go on for about an hour on that. So what's the benefits and what's the appeal? So long-term holders, those who wish to buy and hold Electroneum for any potential future value, and then just cryptocurrency enthusiasts wishing to be involved in the development of the next evolutionary step of the digital coin market. And they have long-term goals. They talk about being able to integrate the Electroneum API with a number of virtual goods sellers to be able to accept it. They also talk about just knowing someone's mobile phone number, they'll be able to send the funds similar to WhatsApp, Telegram, Line, WeChat. Once you have verified your own mobile number on the SMS account, you'll be able to send it. So they're just trying to make it easier for people to send the money from phone to phone. One of the other things I thought was pretty interesting is using Xbox and PlayStation developers to create the world's first games console mining software. So that is a very interesting goal, because right now the gaming industry is very huge, and that's one of their main areas that they're trying to hit on as well, other than just mobile. So they want to allow the 620 million game console owners to leave their console mining for Electroneum when they are not in use. If they create the first gaming console mining software, that would be awesome. So this just talks about the existing market and talks about gaming. If you are familiar, and I'm not as familiar because I'm not a gamer, but I do know about multiplayer games like World of Warcraft, where there's about 12 million subscribers. All these different types of games have internal credits or some type of virtual currency. They want to try to see if they can get into that market where they can utilize the Electroneum market currency base instead of their own internal one. And this talks about what the risk is for those companies to be able to adopt that. The risk is the game companies that are already selling their own virtual commodities for cash might not want to integrate with Electroneum, as it would reduce the market. not eliminate it, as players would bring some value from another game. Benefits. However, game companies that have currently not adopted that model would benefit from multiple things: a new entry and exit revenue stream, access to new players who are searching for a market in which to spend their Electroneum, and publicity. The first adopters will gain huge publicity in the gaming press for taking the steps to bring their virtual currencies out into the real world, just like the Forex markets. So, really interesting stuff. As I mentioned before, gaming is their first item that they're trying to approach. The second is gambling. So there are several websites that currently accept Bitcoin, but it's really hard to work with. The fees are very high, and just being able to manage the Bitcoin market from the gambling perspective is very difficult. So they want to be able to try to get into that gambling market where they can kind of make it easier. Transactions are less, the benefits are less, and it's just a faster way to go, because people in the gambling industry will probably want to move funds much quicker than someone with Bitcoin, where they might not want to wait 15-20 minutes for a transfer to complete, even if it's just a $10 payment. So another thing to kind of note. So going back to Electroneum, their main goal, where they are, if you ever check out their YouTube page, they do have a they don't have a link here, but if you ever check it out, Richard Ellis, the CEO of the company, is always on. He's done a lot of interviews. Very, very well educated guy, and very well spoken. He really is enthusiastic about the project. They have shown pictures and videos of their offices. Their team seems to be very dedicated to the project. So, I think it is I'm not saying easy project, but it has a simple goal in mind, and I think it has a very realistic goal in mind. Being able to be a mobile mining, mobile currency, replacing gaming currencies. I think these are all manageable goals. Obviously, I know Electroneum has been mocked. People, there's a lot of shillers out there for it. I hold it. I don't have a ginormous position in Electroneum. So, I think it's well worth it to do your own research, check it out. I definitely think with it being on KuCoin now, it's been on Cryptopia forever and no other exchanges. The word will definitely get out there. If they start getting more telecommunication companies, I know they have mentioned that after the World Mobile World Congress, they are now in talks with some other companies, or at least interest from some of those companies. So I'm sure there'll be more news, a lot more things coming out. Definitely check them out on KuCoin. I have a link below to my KuCoin if you're not already there, which I'm sure most of you are. But definitely check it out. I do think it is a worthwhile project. So let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys like this. Please like, subscribe, shoot me a comment, and hope you guys have a great day.